Yeah, dude.
All right, let's see if I can hang on to 2.5-ish kilonewtons with just my arms.
Yeah, check out those guns.
You got it.
Check out the guns.
You know what's funny? Is I can't wakeboard because I can't hang on to the handles. Oh, I hate this. So in theory, should rip out of my hands before it rips out my shoulders, right?
Yes. If you let go.
3, focus, 2, bend your elbows, 1, breathe, go down, go down, go down.
Yeah! Woo!
Yeah, dude!
Yeah, dude! He held it!
I bet he doesn't want to let go.
Yeah!
Good work, buddy! Three, 2, fuck, hold on.
Oh! You've changed, dude. Big time. Want me to kick you?
No, I'm just gonna hit my head on this thing.
Hey, I'm Homer, and I'm about to jump the swing.
Perfect. And what do you got here? A Line Scale 2, sponsored by Line Scale. All right, peak force is on, dude. We're gonna do some science. Jumping off the GGBY net. Ow!
I'm gonna do a little 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1. Good job, Homer.
Thanks, dude.
What'd you get?
I turned it off, but
Okay.
it was 3.34.
3.34. Pretty good. How much do you weigh again?
I weigh 195,
Okay. Cool.
200.
Science. Let's get this thing reset.
I weigh 134 pounds. I'm on peak force,
All right.
and I am going to run off of a cliff. So,
All right.
yeah. Shit.
Go, 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 go. Jesus.
It was, I asked myself why I was doing it.
How much force you get?
3.16.
What? Because you jumped forward.
I jumped for it, yeah.
Yeah, so you got less swing. Wow. The swing really makes a difference.
Yeah. Science rules!
Hi, my name is Zach. I weigh about 155, and I'm about to jump on the net.
For science.
For science. 2, 1.
For science! For science, I love it.
Like free fall, and the wind catches you, and then next thing you know, you're hanging on the ropes. And it was amazing. Yeah, thanks.
And what peak force did you get?
I got 1.84.
Wow.
No, only 1.84.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good job, man. How much do you weigh?
74 kilos.
Is this your first rope swing?
Yeah, my first ever.
Yeah. And are we gonna do some science?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, Mateus, you got half a kilonewton more than me. How was it?
Hey, very good, dude. Amazing, beautiful.
So we got 2 80-meter ropes here. For those of you that don't know what 80 meters is, that's about 300 feet.
I've never jumped 80 meters before. And I am gonna do some science. No, I'm just gonna hit my head on this thing. Oh my God, oh my God. that's pretty good. Let's see if we can capture that. 2.68. Man. Wow, it's pretty down here. So before I get into the numbers and we get in the chart, please don't rope swing unless you know what you're doing. We will have a ropes course or a Highline University course on rope swinging shortly, but we don't yet. Plus, you should always go with somebody who knows what they're doing. However, the numbers are right here. And we basically had a 195-pound maximum weight person and 134-pound lightweight person. And we were getting anywhere from 1.8 to 3.3 kilonewtons. We did have Marcus Nelson also jump, but we didn't capture any of that. And he was 190 pounds and 2.8 kilonewtons. So it doesn't always exactly line up. There are a lot of variables, and it depends, we found, how you jump. If you run forward, you're going to get a higher force, and then if you run out and get a little bit more swing in there, which is how I was able to hang on with my Super 8 that I had these handles that I put in there. Because when I did it back in Yosemite earlier last year, that I didn't have this and the rope crushed around my hands. So if you ever are crazy enough to try hanging on to rope swing, just know it's nice to have something that keeps the rope from basically breaking my pinky. But that rope jump where I am hanging on does demonstrate that the amount of force being applied so slowly within a swing doesn't always equal how much force another scenario would be on your body. We did our shock loads a myth in another video, and that had about 4.5 kilonewtons on my body, and that hurt pretty bad because it was a sudden stop. So it's kind of a magic trick to hang on to a rope swing. I definitely don't recommend it. It could definitely hurt your arms, break your pinkies. It's more or less a stupid stunt. However, I was always curious if I could basically do what science says I can't, because it's just counterintuitive to be able to hang on to basically 700 pounds of force. I'm not that strong. I'm also not that smart because I never thought about when I was done. The hull system is basically the rope is attached to my jump rope and it gets lowered to me and I clip in. A couple things I didn't think about was if I wanted to not hang on anymore, because I was still attached to the second rope quite loosely. I would have dropped maybe 15 feet if I let go. The problem is my haul rope would only go to the top of that rope. But if I let go, the rope would have got sucked up 15, 20 feet. And putting a 30, 40 foot gap between me and where the haul rope would come down to. And so I had to hang on the whole time and I was getting pretty tired, and then I had to one hand connect it. So I got to work on the exit plan of my stunts from now on. Now this video is kind of like all over the place, so now that we showed you the fun stuff and showed you the forces, we will now talk about the next interesting thing we did that I was dumb enough to try, was I got on the damn net. I don't know how many people have ever really got on the thing it's attached to, but I thought it'd be a cool angle to film from. And when Keenan jumped off, I felt pretty good. I was clipped in two clip-in points with my Super Bomber Petzl Daisy personal anchor here. However, I wasn't expecting to use it. I thought I would just either hang on, but the moment he left the cliff, my heart sank because I realized I was not prepared for it. I wish the camera was facing me because the look on my face had this oh shit look. And I was only holding on to my phone like this. Literally, I didn't even have my little space net thing that keeps it, attached to me. And I just realized this, clamped down, and went for a ride. Check it out. So I believe it's Keenan who's about to jump. I'm not mistaken, I can't really tell from here. And I am attached to the net. Holy shit, I better hang on tight. Hanging on tight, hanging on tight. Ah! 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 So you can see at this other angle that somebody filmed that they were talking about Keenan. He caught his hat as he was falling, but you can see me right in the corner fly out of the net. And it was nuts. Anyways, we got the forces on the leg of the space net when Keenan jumped while I was on it. And we got just me on there, 6.7 kilonewtons. And when Keenan jumped and I fell out, the peak force peaked out at 12.9 kilonewtons, which is a little high. And Keenan and me just chilling there was 8.67 kilonewtons. So with our added weight, it technically only went up about 4 kilonewtons. But when you're playing with almost 13 kilonewtons on a leg, you don't want to be doing tandem rope jumps. I do not ever allow tandem rope jumps on my systems. I don't advocate for that. I do believe that it's pretty risky because I'm okay with the safety ratios in this world. I don't really feel like it's necessary to push the limits of our safety ratios. Keep in mind that some slack lines break around 20 kilonewtons. Not the spider silk I was using, but I mean, you're only talking between 30 and 40. And then ropes, the dynamic ropes we were using, break around 15 kilonewtons. So like, you know, I'm happy with having only 3 or 4 kilonewtons on my ropes. Now, another interesting thing about me getting back on the net, not having learned my lesson, when Alita jumped. And you can see in this video how the rope does this S-shaped whipping thing right as she's jumping in this slow-mo video. And I was able to capture this in slow motion with my GoPro since I was at basically the fulcrum of the entire system. And so it kind of has this whipping thing, and then the hull system rope comes and travels up the rope really, really fast. And so it's kind of nice to understand how that works since you're going to be rigging and you want to have your knots and your stoppers, everything, so the carabiner doesn't get stuck on the wrong side of a knot and does not lower itself down when you want it to. And no, I did not fall out of the net that time because I basically burrowed my legs through the net and my arms, so I was like one with the net. So I'm getting better at that. Now, to give you a comparison of the forces, Pink Tube is a very, very stretchy webbing. And when I got on Dean's line, it's only 40 meters long, and I was whipping in the middle, and I got 1.72 and 1.6 kilonewtons on my leash where I connected it to me. And that doesn't count what the slackline saw, but basically the rope jump was getting double. And that's just something for reference. If I was using a low stretch webbing, the peak force I would see on my dyno attached to my harness would definitely be higher. Now, the second part of this video is gonna show the haul system and the winch that my friends built in order to haul people back up. The haul system is the same system that I started to use a couple years ago in order to haul people back up to the exit point, which is super useful instead of pulling them straight up, which is a little bit more convenient, but then they have to travel off to the side. Not so convenient. And this way, if something were to fail, that you're pulling them up, and if something breaks, they just swing again. They're not near the cliff. There's a lot less that can go wrong, and you don't have to reset the ropes because resetting the ropes requires a lot of moving around cliff edges when you may not be clipped in. Okay, this is our haul system from, we started doing about 2 years ago. We have this beaner is what you clip to the person down below. That is what gets pulled up with our paracord that goes to a pulley, goes over to Callan. So he's gonna pull it over, we're gonna release it. We disengage the teeth from our protraction, and they're feeding rope out to us right now. And then we reset it. And that way the rope is out of the way. When we jump, we just move this rope over to here, and then the jump ropes are free to do what they need to do. You don't want to be attached to the haul line when you are rope swinging. In case it got snagged on something, you'd have a sudden stop and it would suck.
2, 1.
Oh. Wow, it just falls for days.
All right, let's get them up. All right, here we go.
lower ledge. Good.
Oh my God. So that winch capstan machine was made by Mike Stamola and Sylvan Christensen. And Taylor Palmer actually has a really neat one that kind of has an open end to it, so it's easier to put the rope on and off. And maybe we can get him to show us how his machine works. But basically, that really helps prevent a lot of the manual labor of pulling. The old system was to have 20 people and you would just rotate, but that adds complication. Now showing you our haul system kind of just gives you an overall on how it works. It is kind of complicated. I'm trying to use more of an arborist foot ascender setup so I can just jug myself back up on the bigger rope swings that we want to do in order to just eliminate the haul system altogether.